Have you ever wondered how the internet knows where to send your request when you type in a website URL? Well, that's all thanks to something called the domain name system, or DNS for short. Just like how you might look up a friend's name in your phone's contact list to find their number, the internet uses DNS to match the website names we humans understand to the IP addresses that computers use to identify each other on the network. So, imagine you're trying to visit a website. You type in the URL and hit enter. Behind the scenes, your computer is quickly reaching out to a DNS server, asking it for the IP address that corresponds to that domain name. And just like that, the DNS server responds back with the IP address, and your computer can now connect to the desired website. So, when you type in a website URL, you're actually using DNS without even realizing it. DNS isn't just one thing. It's a complex system made up of several components, each playing a crucial role. Firstly, let's talk about domain names. You can think of a domain name like the address of a house. It's a human-friendly way to identify a website on the internet. For instance, when you type in google.com, you're using a domain name. These names are easier for us to remember and use than a string of numbers, which is what computers and servers use to identify websites. Now, let's move on to the DNS servers. There are three main types of servers involved in the DNS process: root servers, top-level domain, TLD servers, and authoritative name servers. Root servers are like the index of a book. They don't have all the information, but they know where to direct your request to find it. TLD servers come next. They're responsible for top-level domains like .com, .net, .org, and so on. If the root server is the index, the TLD server is like the chapter of the book. Then we have the authoritative name servers. These servers hold the final answer or the IP address for a specific domain name. They're like the specific page in our book analogy where you find the exact information you're looking for. Lastly, we have DNS resolvers, sometimes referred to as DNS clients. A resolver's job is to request information from the various servers and then resolve the domain name into the IP address. It's a bit like a librarian who helps you find the book, chapter, and page you need. So to recap, domain names are the human-friendly addresses we use to identify websites. DNS servers, root, TLD, and authoritative are the librarians or guides that help translate these domain names into IP addresses that computers can understand. And DNS resolvers are the link between users and servers, sending requests and receiving responses. These components work together to ensure your internet requests find their way to the right destination. Now, let's unravel the mystery of how DNS works. The process begins when you type a website URL into your browser and press enter. This simple action triggers a complex chain of events known as a DNS lookup. Initially, your computer doesn't know where to find the website you're looking for. It needs an IP address, but all it has is a domain name. This is where the DNS resolver comes in. Think of the resolver as a sleuth, tasked with finding the correct IP address for your domain name. The resolver's first step is the root server. The root server is like a librarian who doesn't have every book but knows where to find each one. It doesn't know the IP address you're looking for, but it points the resolver in the right direction, towards the top-level domain or TLD servers. TLD servers are like genre sections in a library. Each one specializes in certain domain extensions, such as .com or .org. So if you're looking for a .com website, the TLD server for .com domains will have the information you need. Once the TLD server points the resolver to the right place, the resolver approaches the authoritative name servers. These servers are like the specific bookshelves where your book is located. They hold the exact IP address for the domain name you're seeking. The resolver then retrieves the IP address from the authoritative name server and returns it to your computer. Your computer uses this IP address to connect to the website you requested, and voila! The web page appears in your browser. And that's it. That's how the DNS lookup process works. It's like a fast-paced, high-stakes scavenger hunt that happens every time you want to visit a website. And the best part? This entire process takes place in mere milliseconds. And just like that, in mere milliseconds, DNS has found the way to your requested website. We briefly mentioned different types of DNS servers earlier, but let's delve a bit deeper. First off, we have root servers. These are the top-level servers in the DNS hierarchy and serve as a reference point for the entire system. They don't store domain name information themselves, but guide the query to the appropriate top-level domain, TLD, server. There are 13 sets of root servers globally, named from A to M, each mirroring the same information to ensure redundancy and reliability. Next, we have TLD servers. These are a step down in the hierarchy and store data about top-level domains. Think .com, .org, .net, and so on. When a root server directs a query to a TLD server, the TLD server then points the way to the next type of server in our list, the authoritative DNS server. Finally, we have authoritative DNS servers. These are the final steps in the DNS lookup process. They hold the authority over a particular domain and store the actual IP addresses for the domain's subdomains. When a query reaches an authoritative server, it returns the corresponding IP address to the client, completing the DNS lookup. The dance between these servers is what allows us to use memorable domain names instead of trying to remember a string of numbers. It's like a well-orchestrated ballet, where every dancer knows their steps and timing to perfection. Together, these servers make the magic of DNS happen. So we've journeyed through the world of DNS, but let's recap. The domain name system, or DNS, is a crucial component of how we access information on the internet. It's like a phone book for the web, translating human-friendly website names into computer-friendly IP addresses. There are several integral parts to this system. First, we have the DNS client, which sends out DNS queries. Then, there's the DNS server that holds the phone book and responds to the queries. Remember, this server can be recursive or authoritative depending on its role and function. The DNS lookup process is a fascinating journey. When you type in a website URL, your device sends a DNS query to a DNS server. The server then traverses through a hierarchy of other servers until it finds the right IP address and sends it back to your device. This whole process happens in the blink of an eye, making your web surfing experience seamless and fast. The DNS infrastructure comprises different types of servers, including root servers, top-level domain, TLD, servers, and authoritative name servers. Each plays a unique role in the DNS lookup process, ensuring efficient and accurate translation of domain names to IP addresses. Next time you type in a website URL, remember there's a lot happening behind the scenes thanks to DNS. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more tech insights.